Good morning, everybody. Welcome to Zoe's Treasures. My name's Tracy. Um, Good morning, Natural State of High. Hello, the Gilded Curio, Poppin' Comics. Welcome to our talk show. We are talk about everything, buying, selling, life, whatever it may be. Um, Hello on Willow Grove Road. Hope you guys are having a good morning. So we're doing something a little different. I'm kind of excited about it. This is a test run for our show tomorrow, our actual like selling show. But I am in sunny Orlando, which is not my home state. My husband, we live in Pennsylvania, so we are actually broadcasting the show, this talk show right now from Pennsylvania. I am on FaceTime with my husband, and then he's hooked that somehow into the computer, and we're broadcasting that way. So he can still do all his fun graphics, and I get to sit here in Orlando and run the show. Oh, in PA, so I am in just south of York, PA, so southern, kind of right in the middle, right above the Maryland border. So, thank you. I think it is working good. We're testing it out, so that's the little graphics. That's him in Pennsylvania doing his graphics thing. Um, so tomorrow we are going Millersville. Oh, awesome. Um, Yeah, we are actually in a tiny little town called Spring Grove. If you look up Spring Grove, on the like Google it, it is known for its stinky paper plant. So like every time I say Spring Grove, people are like, "Oh, you live by the paper mill and it smells." Well, it doesn't really smell. Where I'm at, you can't smell it. And yes, if you go to town, you can smell it a little bit, but I don't know, you get used to it. Um, Okay. All right. So we got a lot. And your friend lives there. So yeah, there's a ton of Pennsylvania people. I talked a couple shows ago about doing like a meetup. I think we need to do one. You live close to the paper mill, okay? Or to a paper mill, yes. Um, so they can smell a little bit, but you kind of get used to it. It's not so bad. I mean, like seriously, we live in farm country, and every spring all you smell is the manure. So if you're gonna complain about a paper mill, like there's other things that I don't know that smell too. So um, anyways, any wins this week? We always start off our Friday show with any wins. Good morning, Cynthia. My big one is that I actually got packed, got all my stuff done without losing my ever loving mind to get here. Um, in winter too. Okay, cool. I have one person who messaged me before, but if you're in Pennsylvania, like central southern PA somewhere, send me a message. Like just send me a message that you'd be interested. I'm trying to accumulate a list, and then I will figure out all the ins and outs of getting a meetup. Good morning, pickers in the wind. Um, what I was saying is, do you know when you guys go on vacation? I don't know if you're like me. You go on vacation or you go somewhere, but you gotta like clean the house. You gotta make sure everything's done. You have this whole list of stuff. So I was like, I have a full time job. I have a 9 to 5. So I was trying to make sure that stuff was done. Southern Charm, my win is I got to help my best friend with her first show last night. That is awesome. So why don't you give her a plug, put her name in there, tell us what she sells, and anybody else who sellers, and I'll probably say this again later in the show. At any time, feel free to plug your shows during this chat show. I don't do sponsored giveaways. You can plug your shows whenever. Just be polite about it. That's all we ask. Um, so going out of town, going on vacation, trying to get everything clean, everything done, and then, of course, we wanted to do a whatnot show. So I was trying to make sure I got everything photographed, listed, ready, so that my husband, because the way this is going to work tomorrow is I'm going to be here. I'll run everything from my computer. I'll talk about the items, but he has to actually show the items. So I had to have everything set up and kind of ready, make it easy for him. Um, let's see. We have a brand new seller, Choco Dog 6, and she sells vintage. Everybody, I mean, if you're so inclined, it would be nice to help a new seller out and give them a follow. Um, so my win was that I actually made it here without losing my mind. There was a day or two there I thought that was going to happen. Um, but we are here. Wreck-It Ralph is doing a shipping support show Monday morning. Awesome. And shipping is one of those things that is, I got questions. So I had a new seller. Oh my gosh, her name just slipped my mind. I thought I had it. I will give her a shout out in a little bit. As soon as I go back and get her name here. But I had a new seller reach out to me and was asking shipping questions. and it is shipping is so hard. There is just um, so much. So I'm so glad you're doing a shipping show. We did a little kind of like a on our posted on our Instagram, not like a spoof or anything, but we did kind of like a little shipping thing. And I want to do like a full thing on our YouTube about shipping eventually. It is so seller specific, and that's just it. People ask for advice, and it's like, well, it depends what you sell. It depends how many items you pack in there. Like, I mean, it's so difficult. But I'm streaming my what? Oh, I'm streamlining my whatnot, condensing to one long auction stream and one chat show. This is natural state of high pop-ups or raid trains in between. I have to clear the mental clutter. When? Oh my gosh! I think you're reading my mind. Natural state of high. So per week. So just for the last few weeks, I've been doing 4 shows. One, two, three, four, five. Wait, no, one. Yeah, 5 shows a week. Um, and it is hard. It's so much, and I have actually went through last night and rescheduled so I can cut down the number of my shows too, because it starts to take over. Like, it's addicting, not even from the buying side, it's addicting from the selling side, because it's like, I don't know about you guys, I get energized after a show. I am like all adrenaline pumped up, and then you come down from that, so it's like a cycle. Southern Charm says, do you do custom shipping on everything? I do not. Personally, I let Whatnot do a lot of my like bundling and figuring it out. Um, except for the items that are either a little bit of higher weight, or if they're a larger size and I need to ship individually. Like if it's an item that I know, look at this has to ship in a box by itself, I do custom then. Other than that, I pretty much let Whatnot kind of do the bundling based on like the up to 5 pounds, and I don't have too much trouble. I do pay for some shipping every week. Um, but not to a point where I feel that it's not a legitimate, like, or a reasonable business expense. The shipping in between has taken over my life, and I'm struggling mentally. Isn't that the truth? People don't realize that was one of the points I actually was going to talk about today. Is the time commitment. Um, is for every I say for and this is just kind of a standard rule of thumb that I think about, and I got this from auditing. So I'm an auditor by nature. That's what I do real life. And we say for like every time you're out doing something, you if it takes you an hour, you have 2 hours documentation. It's the same thing with Whatnot. If your show runs an hour, you could be almost guaranteed 2 hours of shipping. So for every hour you are live, you have about 2 hours of shipping to do, and that's on a good day. If you sell stuff that's highly breakable, I mean, 99% of what I sell is breakable. So it after every show, it probably takes us 4 to 5 hours after every show to do shipping. Um, Southern Charm, you are not the only one that pays out of pocket. If anybody else pays out of pocket on a regular basis, and that's okay, like it's part of your business model, throw it in the chat so we know like there's more of us out there. I don't. I mean, I don't pay except there's been certain shows where I'm like, oh, I made some mistakes and I've, gotten really hit on shipping. But I'm talking about a standard show. I typically, when I do my dollar start shows, I do buyer pays shipping. My thinking is if I'm starting things at $1 and people are getting awesome, amazing deals, then I don't need to also pay for the shipping. Then I'm already, like giving them something. Um, but when I do like full price, like higher shows where I'm starting things 10, 15, like I'm doing higher end items, I'll sometimes do like I'll pay shipping up to like the 921. Um, and our cover shipping over 921 just because I feel there's an offset there. If I'm asking a higher price on my items, I'm willing to take a little bit more hit on shipping. Um, and I think that there's kind of a trade off, and you got to find what works for you in there. So it really depends on the type of show. But I use my 5 adjustments religiously every single week, and that's not a bad thing. I had someone message me, and they were like, "Oh, I thought that might be bad." It's not bad. They're there for a reason, and you know what? That's a perk that may go away someday. I haven't heard anything. I'm not affiliated with Whatnot, like in that manner. But hold on, you guys. I'm sorry. But the five things may be something that goes away. So take advantage of it. Use it. They give it to us. They keep the overages. That's exactly what I was about to say. So Whatnot keeps the overages out of customers' pay. So don't feel any type of way about using the five. Exactly. Um, whenever we say something weighs, you know, I don't know, 2 pounds and it only weighs 14 ounces, that's like $3 or $4 at Whatnot Keeps. So anytime that happens, don't. It's like we don't get that money back. I wish we did. Whatnot, if you're listening, we would love to manage our own shipping accounts. We'd love to have some offset. I find so like when I do random shows, some people when they do like random polls, they have weight classes. So they have an item that's like 0 to 8 ounces, and then they have a second item that's like 8 to 15 ounces, and then maybe they'll have a 1 pound item. And so you'll see 3 or 4 different types of listings while they're doing random polls based on the weights that they've set up. I don't do that. I use one weight for everything. I use a 1 pound weight. So yes, sometimes there's going to be an item that weighs 14 ounces, but I guarantee you by the time I wrap it and put it in a box, that item weighs a pound. So it's very, very rare. Like I see it, not even every show. It's super rare where I put a lower weight and I feel like the customer's been overcharged. It is so rare because usually once you buy one thing, especially in the lower start shows when you're doing dollar shows, most people will buy 2 or 3. Now we're over that 1 pound anyways. We're between 1 and 5, so it makes sense. But don't feel bad about using your adjustments at all. So, what else is going on? I am in Orlando for a cheer competency. Cheer Mom. We are um, we are at what is called Summit, which is like the biggest cheerleading event of the year. There are thousands of cheerleaders everywhere we go, like everywhere. We are at like Disney. I mean, we haven't gone there yet. We're going to the parks after she competes. Specifically, before they compete, they are not allowed to be in the sun. Lots of people. Lots of pep. Yes, lots of pep. Even though my girl, I call her affectionately the grumpy cheer bear because she is a 14-year-old with a 14-year-old attitude. Um, and so she will be all in her cheer gear and she is all dressed up and she looks like that cute little cheerleader, but she's like, giving me that grumpy face until she gets on that stage and she turns it on. But so she is my grumpy cheer bear. Um, yeah, there are so many cheerleaders here, and everywhere we go, and there's so many rules. There's so many rules to follow about we can't go in the sun, we can't go to the parks before they compete, all just to make sure they're rested and ready for competition. So they practiced yesterday. Today is comp day. Um, and if any of you have ever been around like a cheer mom, dance mom, dad, any of that, it is a lot of hurry up and wait. And that's what this is like. So we have to be there at 3. So we meet at 3. She competes at 6. So we get to sit for 3 hours and wait. She's busy. They're practicing. They're doing stuff. Us parents, we just wait. And then, so that's 3 hours, 3 to 6. And then 8 o'clock, they reveal if they have made it to the next round. If they make it to the next round, your granddaughter is at Summit. Cynthia, message me what team she's on, and if I can, I will go in and cheer for her team. Um, that is so cool. Yeah, so you know the cheer life. It's just a bunch of waiting around, and the way Summit works, they some competed yesterday, some today, some tomorrow. If they win the first round or not win, but if they score high enough on the first round, then they get to compete again on Sunday to possibly win a title. So us parents, I've traveled from Pennsylvania. You figure we flew down here. We have an Airbnb, a rental car. We're going to the parks. We're eating. That's a ton of money for them to be on that mat for 2.5 minutes. Everybody is praying that they go to the next round. She has a good chance. Her team has a good chance. But like I said, there's thousands of girls here. So whoever wins on Sunday, whoever gets the titles, is the best of the best. So, I mean, we're always happy for whoever it is, but personally, we're a little biased. We want it to be our girls. So that's all my cheer talk. We're done. We're looking forward. We're going to go to Hollywood Studios um, on Saturday. It is the experience, yes, and this is her first summit, so she is very excited. This is her first summit. Um, I am. They have worked hard. They do, and when I say that these girls work hard, like a lot of people don't think it's a true sport. My daughter does sideline. She just tried out for her high school sideline. She made the JV and the varsity team, so she'll be on 2 sideline squads for her freshman year in high school. And she does a competitive team next year. She's going to double team, which means she'll be on 2 competitive teams next year. And that means 7 days a week, either in the gym or doing tumbling classes. So it's a lot, and they work hard. All right, what else? Let's see. Let's move on. It is a taxing sport. And yes, it's real. Let's see. What else are we going to talk about? I have a seller shout out. I just want to give a quick shout out. I haven't seen her come in, which is okay if she's not here, but I want to shout out East Coast Eclectic. This is Jody, is her name, and she runs East Coast Eclectic. I don't know if any of you are familiar. We may have rated her last week. At one of my shows, I rated her last week. But I have been watching Jody for probably a year now, ever since I've been on. Thank you so much for tagging her. I have been watching her for probably a year now. Um, and Jody is one of those underrated sellers. She is awesome. Exactly. She has over 5,000 followers, has sold over 11,000 items. She could, just looking pure numbers, be considered a big time seller. But if you go and just ask, oh, name some of your big time vintage sellers, you're going to hear Hodge and Upcycle by Bree, maybe Lancaster Exchange. You're going to hear some of these names. Usually, East Coast Eclectic is not a name you hear, even though her numbers rival theirs. Um, she is just mellow. You like mellow, calm shows. She's not yelling at the chat. She's just sweet to listen to. And you can tell her personality comes through. Oh, thank you for bookmarking and following her. She is just, she talks about her family a little bit. Um, and one of the things I find interesting for those of you new sellers who's maybe a little bit nervous, Jody rarely ever shows her face. And she has made it, she has been super successful on this app. Um, she rarely shows her face. I think maybe in one or two raid trains I've seen her, but on a day to day basis, she is on Monday through Thursday, usually around 7 in the morning. You'll have to take a look at her shows, go look her up, but usually around 7 in the morning. And she'll run for a good 2 hours. Amazing items. I've bought from her. She ships fast, she packs good. Just all the things, like all the things with her. So I just wanted to give her a shout out. For those of you who may not have heard of her, but those of you who have, you are backing me up and saying how great she is. All right, we have a first show coming up on Friday, May 16th. This is Volumes of Vintage. Um, Nervous about shipping the most. Volumes of Vintage. Scroll back in the chat. I forget the name already, but we have somebody doing a shipping show this week. Go take a look at their show. They're actually, let's see. I'm trying to scroll back in the chat and see it. Was it Wreck It Ralph? Yep. Wreck It Ralph is doing a shipping show coming up. So go check out Wreck It Ralph. Yep. And that may, hopefully you can get some shipping questions answered. We'll try to talk about shipping if there's a specific question. Eventually, I'm going to do a full. Oh my God, do you hear that bird? There's like this weird bird. Okay. Eventually, we're going to do a full show, like a YouTube, not talk show, but a YouTube on shipping. But there's a bunch of them out there, so that's why we've kind of been slow about doing it. Um, but there's a ton of seller support shows. What else did I have on my list? I make some notes. So okay, the Vintage Daisy shop said she did a show and capped shipping at 921, and it was so easy. It is so easy. The only thing I would recommend with that is to make sure you're ready to pay overages on shipping if there are some. Again, it goes back to what you're selling. And how much you're charging for your items. Just make sure you know most people, when you do 921, you are going to pay something out of pocket. So long as you're prepared for that, I think it's a great benefit to offer the buyers. Um, One of the notes that I had is, I talk a lot about the buying experience, and you want to make sure the buyers want to know the WIFM. Anybody ever heard the term WIFM? It means what's in it for me. Buyers want to know that. And you don't have to say directly, like, hi, I'm Tracy. Welcome to Zoe's Treasures. Today I'm going to tell you what's in it for you. You don't have to do it that way, but you do need to make it appealing. Well, here, if you're offering 921, so some free shipping's in it for them. Low prices are in it for them. Good items are in it for them. So the buyers need to constantly, like, you have to show them consistently, either by the products you're demonstrating or the words you're using, what's in it for them, what makes them want to buy. Let's see, if there is such a stigma about shipping, why doesn't Whatnot do something differently? That's a good question. I honestly don't think the shipping is that difficult on Whatnot. And I don't say that from some like egotistical way that, oh, I got it all figured out, because I absolutely am still learning every day. But they bundle for you. I mean, if you're just using Whatnot, you let Whatnot take care of your shipping, you do nothing custom. They bundle for you. You can unbundle, you can move things. I mean, I think it's pretty simple. Um, I don't know. I think people make it harder than it needs to be, honestly. I have a question. I still have not been paid for my first show. How long does that usually take to process? Um, so Taco Cat Lady, that usually takes but after the I'm assuming you're under 1,000 items since you're talking about your first show. Whatnot will not pay you until those items are delivered, and then it's usually like 48 hours or so before it shows up as funds available for you to pull down and withdraw. That is why, and there we go, natural state of high, 48 hours after the package has been delivered or reviewed. Um, and Cynthia says too, once you learn it, it's not so difficult. Exactly. With shipping. So that's also the reason why everybody tries to get to the 1,000 sales really quickly so they can get the instant payout, which y'all, maybe I'm weird. I have instant payout. I've hit my 1,000 and I was excited about it. I thought it was great, but I don't pull money out like every show. I've heard some people, and maybe it's the, I mean, I can't speak. Everybody's in a different financial position, and I get that. Um, but it's just the way I choose to run my business. I pull money down once a month. I let it accumulate all month and I pull it down. And I know people say, oh, you're leaving money in there, you can get interest on it. I'm not going to get that much interest in 30 days. Um, so I leave it in there and I pull it down once a month. To me, I like to see that big number come into my bank. And then I also, it's easier for me business wise. I only have one entry for my revenue each month. Um, because I don't put revenue like per item. I do it by chunk, like as I pull it into my bank. So I only have one entry to put in my books, and it just works for me. It just doing it once a month. But a lot of people do it like every show. I've heard people be like, "Oh, I wanted some extra money for this. I just went and did a show and pulled down the money." Whatever works for you. Um, Using 921. I think so. We're looking at some shipping comments here. They wanted us just to let the customer pay shipping correctly. Yeah, um, shipping was easier than we thought, but we can't afford to do free shipping for them. I think that deters some sales, but we don't want to lose money. Extending grace, don't do free shipping unless you are selling enough and at a prices that you can absorb that. So if you sell something that weighs a pound, it's 921. So unless you're making a minimum of 921 plus the cost of the item plus the cost of your packing material to just break even, don't do free shipping. That's my recommendation. Um, I have never done a show that is completely free shipping. The most I do is the 921. Um, Taco Cat Lady, good luck on your second show. While I am sitting around doing nothing, waiting for the tier results, I will see if I can log in. Um, Good morning. I noticed you. Oh, 9 dimes. Natural state of high is. Oh, he's talking to 9 dimes. Yep. Um, so when we come to shipping, does anybody have good efficiency tips? Um, so not just like, oh, this is how much we pay or whatever, but how about efficiency? Because we were just talking about shipping takes a lot of time. Um, vintage, I had a show that complete never made exactly. Once you do it once, you learn from your mistakes. That's what mistakes are good for. You learn from them. But I'm just talking about like if does anybody have efficiency tips? One thing I've just started doing, thermal printer is key. Hallelujah. Yes, absolutely. If you do not have one, first business expense I would absolutely 100% recommend get yourself a thermal printer. It is a game changer. 100% game changer. Um, I did not have one for like the first few months I was on Whatnot. And when I got one, I'm like, why in the world did I wait so long? We actually have two now. So we use one for when we're doing random shows. If I'm not doing numbers on my own, my husband will actually print labels to put on the items. Um, and then we also have a backup in case mine breaks. We have another one. Order flat rate boxes. Absolutely. Go to USPS. You guys, order flat rate boxes. I'm going to divert really quick here. Um, let's see. Set up a business account with USPS and you can order free blank packing labels. I did not know that. KAC 99 or case 9901. Awesome tip. I learned something today. I do not have a business account with USPS. I just go in personally. If you're shipping more than 10 orders per week, get a thermal printer. Yep. Saves your sanity. It sure does. UPS. I wish we can use UPS. Yes. Um, Never use the bin. Photos and descriptions are massively inefficient. Nine dimes, I am 100% going to disagree with you respectfully, only because I think for some people, you're absolutely correct. I think for some people, the way they run their shows, using the bin makes zero sense. Then there's a whole nother group, and I'm probably in the other group. I get so many sales from my bin that I would be slicing my own throat if I cut out my bin. Um, so, and here's why it's not inefficient for me, why I don't find that it's inefficient, and why I do a mix of shows. I don't list just on Whatnot, I list on other sites. I'm taking pictures anyways, I'm creating descriptions anyways. I use a cross listing app. So I'm doing that work for the other sites anyways. It is just a click of a button for me to put it on Whatnot. So for me, if I'm already doing that work for the other sites, it makes sense to have things in the bin. And I make so many sales from the bin. Every single show. I have not had a show that I have not made stuff from the sales from the bin. Um, Now, I don't run shows where I'm like randomly, I'll talk about my random shows in a second, but I don't do shows where I'm randomly pulling something up, showing it, and that's it. It never gets like brought back into the shows again. Those type of shows, 100% makes sense not to utilize the bin. So I really think it depends on your business model and your selling style on whether the bin makes sense for you or not. Um, I've had a couple of sales overnight out of my bin. Yes, there is a cross listing app, Three Paws Thrift. There's multiple, there's a ton of them out there if you Google them. I personally use Vendu. I'm not a rep, I have no affiliation. I just like it. I use it, it works for me. There is a fee to it. I'm willing to pay the fee because it saves my sanity as far as being able to cross list. Um, let's see. So we do have there is some opinions that bin listings, the time you take to put into the bin, the items to photograph them and to list them, that you don't recoup that money. I'm going to still stick with my point of view that it just depends on um, what your business model is and how it's a free place to use, exactly, the Vintage Daisy Shop, and how you operate. If I'm already, look at Whatnot is known for a lower price app for the most part, right? If I have let's see, actually yesterday I was out thrifting and I found a Viking swung vase about 17 inches tall. I can get twice as much money on another app than I can on Whatnot, but I can sell it faster on Whatnot. So you know what I'm doing? I'm putting it on all the sites, and if it sells faster on Whatnot and I get some money for it, awesome. If it sits around for a while, it's going to sell on another site for almost twice as much as what I can get on Whatnot. Either way, I come out a winner. My time's recouped. Um, in for higher items, these dues pay in for exactly the benefit for the higher items. Tell you what, you guys, I had a dollar show last week, and in my bin I've had it was a gorgeous antique brass mirror that had been sitting there. I had it listed for $165. It had been in my bin for at least 6 or 7 months. A lot of people would say, oh, it's a lot, you did all this work, it sat there. It was a high priced item, it's not everybody's cup of tea. Somebody bought it last week. I dropped the price to 140, but somebody bought it. I was doing a dollar show, but because they were in my show, they came in just for the dollars, dollar starts, and they looked in my bin. They saw something they wanted of good value, and they bought it. That's the way the bin could work for you. But if you choose not to use a bin, you are not wrong. Again, go back to, I will always say, you will always hear me say, you have to do what works best for you. Oh, thank you. It was a beautiful mirror, Southern Charm, wasn't it? I was a little sad to see you go, but I was happy. I bought it to sell. Um, so question about raid trains. Is there a way to get involved in raid trains? There is. Look at who does the raid train. So if you're scrolling in your category, um, look at who's running the raid trains and message those people and say, hey, I noticed your raid train. I would love to get on your raid train. I would recommend that if you're a newer seller wanting to get on a raid train, one, get a few shows under your belt. Make sure you really know how things work so that you're rating on time and your show runs smooth. And then two, I totally forgot. Oh, don't expect to make a ton of money. Raid trains are more for to get your name out there. It's more like a marketing than it is necessarily to make money. Some people kill it. Some people do great on raid trains, but I think they work better if you go into the mindset that they're more for like like recognition, like a marketing perspective. Let's see. Shelly says, I personally hate when people don't show what they're going to run and I just have a random graphic and don't have a bin. Um, check out those bins, free shipping. Exactly. That's where I find a lot of my sales come from in the bins is they'll buy one thing and then they're like, oh, I already have free shipping. Let me just go see if they have anything else. As a buyer, that's one of the first things I do when I go into a show. I check out the bins or their bin. I'm like, what else do they have or what's coming up? Um, that doesn't mean you always have to list everything that you're auctioning. You can still do random shows and have stuff in your bin. Um, I feel like having the picture of the item on the listing helps me when shipping too. It does. I like, for me, I mean, it's easier to ship. I'm going to talk about what I found as my efficiency tips. I kind of got off track for shipping, but I find it makes it easier too. Um, let's see. How many giveaways do you recommend during a show? As many as you're comfortable with or zero. So giveaways, they're not required. You do not have, you can do a whole show and not do giveaways. I'm not doing giveaways in this show. You don't have to do giveaways. Giveaways are a business expense, particularly if you are just starting out, that costs you money. So make sure that you're willing to absorb that money. You're buying whatever item it is you're giving away, even if it's stickers, there's a cost, and you're paying for the shipping. You do not have to do giveaways. Um, if you do a giveaway, here's my suggestion. If you do a giveaway, do it in a way that makes sense. Do it in a way that complements your show. And this is one of the things I was going to talk about is like all the extra features and whatnot, everything that they offer. Um, I was at a talk show, and I'm not going to name the talk show. Probably a lot of you were there too. And this person said, don't utilize the functions. They're a waste of time for most businesses. This person also clarified and they said, do what works for your business. So I'm going to be totally honest. And it's a person that I listen to religiously and love their advice. But I disagreed with don't use the functions. Use the functions in a smart way that complement your business or your business style. I do giveaways. My giveaways are stickers and postcards so that I can utilize the plain white envelope at 73 cents shipping. But um, so does everybody want stickers and a postcard? Probably not. That's probably not the thing. But I'm not. It's not necessarily. I mean, they're nice. They can give them to the kids or whatever. Um, it's not necessarily the item to me. What the real giveaway for us, and if you've ever been in my shows, you know what I'm about to say. When you win our giveaway, we give you a chance to pick anything in the bin. Let's go back to the bin. You pick anything in the bin that we will run on flash sale for 40% off. So now maybe you've seen something that you want, like a high priced mirror or something like that, and you know, hey, if I win them stickers, I can get 40% off that item. So on anything, I have had people ask for my most expensive item in my bin to run it for 40% off, and I will happily do it. Um, what does that do? I'm giving something away, but in a way that encourages people to buy something. And a lot of times, people who request it, whoever wins the giveaway, maybe it's not even something they want. I've had other people buy the item. Other people in the show are like, "Oh, that's cool! Like, I want that item. I'm going to buy it at 50 or 40% off." So I'm utilizing giveaways in a way that one costs me a little bit of just a small amount of money, but encourages people to buy. But it's also giving them something. It's giving them a good deal. Um, so let's see. Okay, hold on. Wait a second. I missed something. So I got your first raid train was horrible experience. The vintage Daisy. My first raid train um was a horrible experience. Person before me left 15 minutes. I didn't get raided, so I just don't. Oh, see, and that's what I mean. That is so sad. It should not happen that way, and that's why I recommend new people to like have a few shows under your belt to know what to do. If you're on an hour raid train and maybe you didn't plan enough items and you run out of items and you're like, no, you should know. I'm gonna have to show the same items again, or I'm gonna pull items from the bin to show them. You can't just leave. Like you have to have a few shows under your belt to know. So I'm really sorry that happened to you. That shouldn't have happened. Totally the opposite of what a raid train experience should be. Um, so Cynthia said, I got a coupon code for a future purchase with the sticker giveaway from a seller this week. Mind blown. There you go. Um, I mean, so I don't think that I don't now. Be careful with that. I have to go and look up Whatnot. You whatever the giveaway is, there has to be something tangible. Let me see. A sticker giveaway from a seller this week. I got a coupon code for a future purchase with the sticker. Okay, so they did include a sticker giveaway. So there you go. So that seller is following Whatnot's rules, because Whatnot says when you give something away, it has to have immediate value. Doesn't mean that you can't put in a coupon for a future show also as an additional item. But whatever you're giving away has to be like immediate, and you're supposed to show it on the screen. That was something I heard, a big controversy in one of the shows I was watching this week. You are supposed to, per Whatnot, at least disclose what the giveaway is. So you can't just say, oh, you're going to get something and never say what that something is. It's kind of deceptive if you think about it. As a buyer, I would feel this a little, that's a deceptive practice. Good question. Natural state of high. Did you like that or dislike that you got a coupon for a future show? So we'll wait and see what the answer is. What do you guys think? Would you like to get a coupon as a discount code for a future show? Or you're like, oh, that's scammy? What's your opinions? Superior design. Do you recommend going 2 hours even if you have to repeat inventory? I sell my wood burnings and art and have limited supply but want to maximize effort. Um, okay, we have a few people really quick are saying they would like to get a coupon for a future show. As far as going 2 hours, um, do what works for you. Okay, here I am going to admit my opinion goes against the mainstream on this one. Mainstream Whatnot talk shows are going to tell you to be on 2 to 4 hours, if not more. That's kind of like the general advice. I don't feel that way. I feel you do what works for you. Most of my shows run about an hour, maybe an hour and a half if I planned a bigger show. That's what works for me. I work full time. I have a kid in sports. I can't run 4 or 5 hour shows. Um, but I do recommend showing your items more than once because people come and go. Who is in your show at the beginning may not be the person who's there at the middle or the end. Very few people start a show and sit in the whole show and watch it. You constantly have a rotating group of people. Um, and if it's the same person in your show and you show that same item 2 or 3 times, so what? They're probably like making themselves coffee or taking a shower or something anyways. Like it, go ahead and re-show it. I can't tell you how many times that I've had an item sell on the second or third time that I've shown it. It just happens. So absolutely. But don't feel forced to stay on for 2 hours. Um, do what works for you. If you go, when I first started, my rule of thumb for myself was I'm going to run through everything twice. After I get through everything twice, we're going to see how I feel. And if I think it's time to end the show, I'm ending the show. Like that was my rule of thumb for myself. And that kind of just kept me accountable to go through things 2 times. But you need to do what's comfortable for you. There's certain times where I'll go through everything once, and depending on the reaction that I feel I got from the chat, I may only go through select items a second time. So I kind of feel it out, but absolutely. Um, let's see. Whatnot policy says that if you do a coupon code for a giveaway, you have to use it in the show you win it in. All right, Thrift with Lisa B. That is really interesting. I'm going to go look that up because the best way to, and I am not disagreeing with you, Thrift with Lisa B. I know Whatnot has some policies around that. I just don't know what it is off the top of my head. So I encourage everybody when you hear something, Whatnot policies, that's what we run by. That's the rules, right? Go and look it up. So thank you if you looked it up. Thank you for letting us know. Oh, thank you for the tip. I appreciate that. You don't have to do that, but it's very, very thoughtful, and I do appreciate it. Let's see. It depends on the chat show, and sales are going. I've done an
Thank
hour and
you.
also done 4. Feed off the chat. Absolutely. My bills are too much for that. We're going to be running those those hours. I love discounts. Yeah. I asked Whatnot because I do that. Okay. Um, I'm glad you're finding it helpful. Let's see. I'm going back to see if there's anything I missed. Will
Thank
make them
you.
money. Coupon for Givey seems iffy because I feel like the free item will make them money. See, you have to be careful with some stuff. Like, yeah, I mean, I'm not against using a coupon. I would just want to use it in whatever way Whatnot approves of, because I do make money off of this. This is a big income source for me. For my side business and whatnot, I make more money on Whatnot than I do the other platforms in total because of the volume that I'm able to sell on Whatnot. And I don't want to. I don't want to mess it up. I don't want to put that in jeopardy. So you know what? I'm going to follow the rules. I'm a rule follower. Now I will push the limit. I will try to utilize things in the best way possible. But I do want to follow the rules. So let's see. How did you run that banner? Oh, that is my husband. He's in Pennsylvania right now, and he runs all of our graphics for us. I just signed up to sell. Where do you find all of the rules? Smitten Vintage. Go into the FAQs on Whatnot. Let's see if I can give you an exact. Let's see. If I am in my um, going just into my seller dashboard, there
Thank you.
is the FAQs, and you can type it in there. There's a search bar. There is also there's safety and policies. There's a big button right at the bottom, safety and policies, and that will link you to everything you need to know about Whatnot. He made a banner. Says this banner. Yeah, that's my husband for you. He thinks he's funny. Um, New seller vintage glass blowout show on Monday. Okay, Pickers
I
in the
am
Wind
funny.
has a show coming up. You guys, if you're just joining, you are always free to pop your shows in here at any time. I don't have a problem with that. I don't do sponsored giveaways. I don't necessarily have anything against them. I just put your shows in. I mean, just share. I will try to read them out unless I'm on some big train of thought because I get distracted easily. Interested in knowing if adding a coupon code to my regular giveaways is allowed. I liked getting that. Yeah, go take a look. Let's go look at the policies and we'll see. Um,
We have a YouTube channel that we had a show on how to do the graphics. It's very simple. If you want to do something similar, I'll put it on the screen for you to check out our YouTube channel.
all right, there you go. Um, let's see here. What else? What am I missing? Any comments in here? All right, I don't think I'm missing any comments. If I am missing your comment, just throw it back in there and remind me. So efficiency. I got way off track. I do want to talk really quick about shipping efficiencies, things that you do besides thermal printers, because we talked about those that make shipping easier for you. MTC 0222 has shows coming up. Go check her out. I'm saying Herc, that's what I think your picture is. I'm sorry if I don't mean to misgender anybody if I'm wrong. Um, Extending Grace, thank you so much. Have a great day. Go check out Extending Grace Linen Show. Um, One of the things I just started doing that I'm finding is more efficient for me, particularly in my random shows, but I do it in all the shows. So as soon as my show is over, instead of doing like box by box, instead of like pulling up my shipments tab and looking at, okay, person A bought these items, let's go grab these items, wrap them up and pack them. We are wrapping, my husband and I wrap everything and put a label on the outside. So we end up with a bunch of these little bundles. Every single item is its own. We wrap it, whether it be in the bubble wrap or stretchy paper, whatever the item calls for as far as wrapping. So we wrap everything, label it, and then we pull up the shipments page and we say, okay, buyer A bought, these 3 items and they're numbered. And I can just go and grab numbers 685 and 2 and put them in a box. I'm finding that doing all the wrapping at once and then all the boxing makes it a little more efficient for me. Um, you can schedule USPS to come pick up your packages. That's a very good tip. Um, Work with them though. Make sure you have a good carrier. I've heard some bad stories. Our USPS cannot pick up on Mondays. It's their busiest day of the week, and because I have shows on Fridays and Saturdays, it's my busiest. Monday is my busiest shipping day, and I have too much it can fit in their trucks on Mondays. Um, so Mondays I always have to take mine, but other days absolutely. Let's see. You can schedule you. Okay, we did that. Let's see. Vintage Shop has a textile show coming up, and you should. Oh, your carrier gets a commission off those pickups. Natural State of High, I didn't know that. You would think they would be more willing to pick them up. Um, Don's Creepy Corner Closet has some shows coming up soon. Oh, Extended Grace, thank you so much. You're so sweet. Yeah, wrap Southern Charm. For me, it's worked out wrapping everything first, and then putting the label on it. Now, we you have to be religious about putting those labels on. This is
Thank
also one of
you.
the reasons I number things in my bin. I miss a number every now and then, but if you're numbering them in your bin, that number also shows up on the item when you're on your shipping receipt, so you can easily use that number to identify. You just have to be really careful to make sure you're numbering. The first one or two times I did this, I forgot a number, and then I'm like, oh crap, and I had to unwrap it, realize what it was. So you just got to be diligent. But for me, it works better. I Oh, we have a show with Coke crate trinket shells and milk glass spice jars. That sounds great, Lisa Ann. Um, yes, I am in Orlando, as Natural State High says, for a cheer comp. So I'm in sunny Florida for just another few days. My carrier says that every trip to the door counts for extra money for them. So she said she's willing to pick up all her packages. Bristol Thistle, I wish I had your carrier. Mine literally on Mondays will knock on the door and be like, I can't, my car won't fit these. And I get it. I mean, if the car physically will not fit all of my packages, I understand that. And they're like, I can come back at 5 or 6 tonight. But part of it's my fault. Part of it is if I don't package the same day that the show happens and I'm on day 2, I don't want it to go to day 3 before it gets scanned. Um, but I'm kind of like leery of, I don't want these sitting out here till 6 or 7 at night. Are you really coming back? So I try not to ask mine personally on Mondays. Um, Wrapping everything first gives you anxiety. Yeah, I mean, you got to find what works for you. Um, Having a training show. Thank you for having a. Oh, you are so welcome. Okay, Natural State High. Agree. I sell crystals, and as soon as the item runs, I wrap them in brown packing paper and put the number on the paper. Bubble wrap it during shipping. So then you wrap it more for the shipping after the show. I think it works. Just works best for me that way. I found it's a little efficient.
Welcome to bronze level.
How about this topic, you guys? That's my shipping. If you guys have any other shipping tips, like put them in the chat. That's my shipping efficiency tip that I have found. Um, if you have a show on Saturday, we can't ship until Monday. Is that considered multiple days? No, it's not considered multiple days. Correct. Thank you, Jen Deals. It's business days, 48 hours. Now, it used to be 2 business days, but I have heard contradictory information in the last, like, say, 3 weeks. I've heard otherwise. I always understood it to be 2 business days because if the post office is closed, that doesn't count as a day. So basically, Sunday should not count as a day. So if you sell on Saturday, you should ship by Tuesday. Um, However, recently I think there was a change in whatnot where the clock starts counting down immediately, so Sunday counts just as much as any other day of the week. I've always just gone on 2 days. If I sell on Friday or Saturday, it goes out on Monday. When I sell on Monday, it goes out by Wednesday. That's always worked for me. I think if you look at mine, it says 2 day shipping. I think on mine, and I haven't got any dings from whatnot for it. Natural State of High, Saturday 6 p.m. show ends. Your packages should be at USPS by Tuesday 6 p.m., but try faster. There you go. So Sunday, so 48:24 is Saturday. So you're saying Sunday doesn't count. That's what I always thought, that Sunday didn't count because the post office is closed. You can't ship that day anyways. That's why you'll see a lot of people. I mean, it's not just coincidence. Part of it is people work during the week and they do shows Friday and Saturdays. But again, a lot of it is thought out business. If I do a show on Friday and Saturday, I have all day Sunday to get my shipping done. Um, yeah, Choco Dog packages that take weeks. Unfortunately, USPS is slow, and they just changed some of their business practices where they've let a lot of people go, which is weird because all I see is signs about them hiring. But then I heard that they let a lot of people go. But they've changed the way that they load up their trucks. Like they've had some like logistics type change within USPS. And I think that's affecting shipping times. Unfortunately, a lot of buyers don't understand that, and they think us sellers have some control over what USPS does. Um, so it's it's sad. It's unfortunate, but we have no control over that. Um, will that keep me at the 1 day ship? It should. Yes, the Vintage Daisy shop. It should. Um, and yes, you've got to make sure your packages are scanned. But here's a tricky thing. Um, thank you, Natural State of High, for answering. Um, okay, be careful with scan sheets. And the reason I say be careful with scan sheets is, I just had an instance that something didn't ship. I know I took it to the post office. I remember the box. It was an odd box. I remember I had to like Frankenbox it. This one package stood out in my mind because of what it was. Took it to the post office and it didn't ship. I mean, I dropped it off there. Tracking never updates. I've had 3 or 4 that tracking don't update. When I reach out to Whatnot says, show me your receipt. Show me the receipt where they scanned it, and it cannot be a scan sheet. So I have an email from Whatnot that explicitly said that they would not accept my scan sheet, that they would only accept a actual receipt that the USPS prints out. That Jen Deals, there you go. You're saying the exact same thing I'm saying right now. So basically, I mean, I end up eating it. It was fine. I mean, it was customer service. I mean, like, it is what it is. It's part of doing business. But just be careful with the scan sheets, because while they're there, I don't think Whatnot takes them as proof that they were scanned. So that's after I get a receipt from the post office after they scan my sheet. I don't know, as long as you have a receipt. I just know when I have an issue. Just recently, and I emailed Whatnot. Whatnot specifically asked me for the receipt. So my problem is sometimes the volume of packages that I take, they won't scan them all. Like if I show up, I have a truck and I will fill the truck bed with packages. And when I do that, I go to the counter and I say, hey, can I dump these in the back of one of your big bins? I go around the back. They reel out 2 or 3 of those bins. I unload the truck bed, all the packages into their bins. I get no receipt because of the volume. And this isn't every single time. A lot of times I just have 10 or 15 packages. I wait in the line. I take them up there. And they scan them for me. I get my receipts. But particularly on Mondays, after a couple of shows and I have a whole truck bed full, my post office won't scan that. I cross my fingers and pray. Like I said, I think I've had 3 issues in a year and a half of stuff. And 2 of them resolved. 2 of them were fine. The customers got their stuff. There just never was there was nothing updated. No tracking, nothing was ever updated. But the customers, magically it appeared. I never get mine scanned. They refuse to do it when I drop off at the back dock. Exactly. But sometimes you can't. Like, I even have a wagon. For most trips, I have a wagon, and sometimes I have to fill the wagon up 2 or 3 times and roll it in, unload, go back, get more, wheel my wagon in. But there's days when I have to drop off in the back. I think what irritates me the most is that we are doing part of the work for them. They should be thankful we are keeping. No kidding. No kidding. Right there. We're using Choco Dog, you're welcome. We're shipping with them. Like, we're their customer, right? Like, my big thing, you guys know, I talk all about the buying experience. We're buying from them. They should be creating an experience for us and making it easy for us to use them. Because if nobody used them, they would go out of business and we'd all be using FedEx or UPS, right? But I just think customer service, and that's probably why I harp on the buying experience so much. Customer service has just gone away. Any hints had 4 shows, 2 great, 2 no sales. And hold on, my dust on here. And Tina, keep at it. Don't give up. Be consistent. Great advice, right? Keep at it. What are you laughing at? My husband's over here laughing. I'm watching him on my FaceTime. Hold on, something about cookies. What am I bribe them with cookies. But hey, that's not a bad idea though. That's not a bad. Keep them happy. Water cooler, maybe some waters on the porch in the hot weather. You know, Leslie has a question. My husband, do you ever have packages picked up at your home? I do sometimes if it's not a Monday. I live in the country, like way out, and my carrier usually just drives a small car. So depending on the number of packages, I will have, if it's only a few, like I try to keep, if it's less than 10, I can schedule a pickup. If it's any more than 10, they're not consistent. They say they can't fit them in the car, or that they have to come back later. And so anything over 10, I usually just drive into the post office. Our post office is about 30 minutes away because I do live in the country, but I also feel safer knowing that I physically deliver them to the post office. Um, However, if you are in a place where they pick them up and they're nice, you utilize the service. Well, I just found out who at Natural State of High, I think that's who said it. If I'm wrong, I'm sorry. Said that they get commission off of those, that they get extra pay for picking up packages for you. So it's like um, a good check mark on their record if they do that. So if you guys can utilize that service, do so. When they see, look so defeated when they see them on your walkway. Um, Job security lady. That's right. Your Natural State of High, yours sounds a lot like mine. So I do live next to like a little town. And when I say town, it's a roundabout with a bar, a bank, a gas station, and a post office that's open till noon. Um, I can go there. That's only a 5-minute drive for me. And if I drop them off there, the problem is they just load them up in another car and take them to the bigger post office. So I feel bad if I show up with 40 packages that I know. Oh, also, they don't scan at that post office. It's so small, they cannot scan. The only way to get a receipt is for them to handwrite it. Um, you're welcome, Cynthia. Have a good weekend. The only way for it's a post office that's so small, they literally do not have the equipment to scan. They have to handwrite it, and I'm not going to ask the young kid. I say young kid, he's probably 22. I'm not going to ask him to handwrite for 40 packages. So unless I only have 3 or 4, I never drop them off there because they're just going to have to load them and drive them to the next post office. Anyways, I just drive them over. Um, so yeah, it's weird. All right, here's another topic. I'm going to throw something out there just to get your thoughts. Yep, take you to the bigger post office. Exactly, Southern Charm. All right, how about this? How about this topic? Tell me what you guys think. Usernames. Am I the only one who struggles? I try to call out usernames, especially when somebody buys something. In my show, I try to say, thank you, whoever, like Southern Charm, thank you so much for your purchase. And I try to call their name for a couple of reasons. One, it's polite, it's nice, it just shows appreciation. So just general courtesy. 2, if I ever need to rewatch my show, I've actually physically said the name so I can hear it. It helps me if I need to go back, which is a kind of another thing. We actually record our shows. My husband's probably like, don't tell everybody this. We record our shows so I can actually go back and see everything. I can see the chat. I can see what's on the screen. So separate from Whatnot's recordings, we have our own, which has been a lifesaver. There's been times where I've messed up on a random show and I've had to go back and rewatch, and having all the information really helps. And you can fast forward and go back and forth. So my husband records them, saves them on a server that we have, and then we're able to look at them again. But usernames, I always try to say them for multiple reasons. I struggle, you guys. There are some names, if you don't have a line, okay, the Vintage Daisy Shop, I can read yours nice and easy. But there are names where I'm like, I just slaughter the heck out of them. All I can say, like, personal, my biggest advice, try to make it easy. And I know this is very ironic coming from somebody who spells Zoe with an X. The irony is not lost on me. Trust me. But yes, biggest struggle. Just if you try to make it easy. Now, some of them are funny. Who is it? There's some, and I know you guys will recognize some of their names. There's Fart Bubbles. There's the Weenie Lady. She cracks me up. She comes into my shows. I love her name. I love just saying the Weenie Lady because that's, the 12-year-old coming out in me. But oh, okay, let's see. It's Natural State of High. It's a game for me. I make it fun or funny. So if I wreck the name, I laugh at myself. What username? What Bill? Oh, that's a good Bill. What? Very good. That's a good way to do it. I just sit there and be like, like, and I just stumble and just feel like this blobbering idiot when I'm trying to make out a name. Hooked on phonics didn't work for you. Old Maid New Creations. Oh my God, I called you Old Maiden in the first show you ever bought from me. And I literally, my husband could chime in, but I felt so bad. It was after the show that I read your name again, and I'm like, oh my God, that's it's not an old maiden. I probably insulted her to no end. Like, so I did that. I called you old maiden. And now I know better, but I felt so terrible after the first time I called you that. Um, I need to use that. Yeah, hooked on phonics. I need to use that one too. We're all gonna copy you. This is gonna be the new thing. Everyone does it. Okay. Yeah, there's just some of those names. I'm like, I mean, just I don't know. If you're about to as a buyer, it's probably it makes it like you guys can laugh at us sellers. As a buyer, you can laugh at us sellers like slaughtering your name. But if you're going to be a seller, if you ever cross that line and you go from buyer to seller, think of a name that people can say easily or read easily. Um, let's see. We got a red chat. Let's see. What did you say? I changed mine before I started selling from. Oh wait, pickers in the wind. Oh my God, can I even say that out loud? I'm not sure. They red chatted you. Um, pickers in the wind. Had a name that kinky kinky headed gal. I'm gonna go ahead and say it. Hopefully Whatnot doesn't ban me. Yeah, so Pickers in the Wind had a name that sounded a little risque and changed it before uh, becoming a seller from I changed by the yes. So that's kind of what I mean. Yeah. They might get the wrong idea on what you were selling with the name. That's a good one. Um, so yeah, just try to make it at least somewhat that people can pronounce. That's all I'm saying. Um, because I just stumble and then I feel bad, but I got to come up with some one-liners like you guys are suggesting here that just to play it off. Um, but yeah, there's a few of them. What else did we have? Oh, let's see. We talked about tips, features. So we you can see by my name no creativity. Laura Ann. Yep. I literally chose my name because I have three dogs, three paws thrift. Yep, and it sounds good with thrift. I just know people are going to think a dog with three legs, three paws. Yeah, yeah, that's kind of yeah, that does conjure up a dog with three legs. Um, simple. That's my husband there. Simple. Got to get you a mascot. You now three paw strip. You can turn that into a whole marketing thing. You could. That's a good natural state high. Like get you a mascot. That's right. Turn it into a whole market. We do ducks. Long story. Some of you have heard our stories. Not really a long story. Our thing is ducks. So if you watch our shows, my husband might throw one up here now. We do a lot of ducks in our shows. Everybody buys from me, gets a little tiny duck. Because um, goes back to a personal reason. So Zoe's treasures. Zoe is my daughter, our daughter. So Zoe's that's where Zoe's treasures came from. And then the duck just kind of appeared because we started this. What is the seller name? I have a jar full of your ducks. You do, yeah. Thank you very much. You buy a lot from me, and I appreciate that very, very much. Um, but so we have these ducks. We started putting ducks on our show. My husband affectionately calls me Pato, which is duck in Spanish. So Pato, Patito, any variation of the name he can come up with, he calls me that. And one day my daughter got one of those little ducks from school. She had come home and she's like showing me this duck. She goes, "You should have these for your show." Pato is the word for duck. Um, so um, she goes, "You should have these ducks for the show since my nickname at home is Pato." And I said, "Oh, okay." I said, "That's a great idea." So then ducks just happen to be everywhere. We started incorporating ducks. So that's where it comes from. I kind of like it in a way. It's a sense of we're a small family business. It kind of brings, good morning, renewed with style. It brings some of our family, kind of sending that along. So, um, mushy. I'm not the mushy person, but that's my level of mushiness right there. Um, so, but three paws, three. Oh, wait, was it okay? I'm going to get it wrong. Three paws thrift. You could totally turn that into like a whole branding marketing thing. Absolutely. Oh no. Superior design. That is so mean, but that's so sister like, right? All right. Let's see if I have anything else. Do you guys have anything? We've been on for about an hour. I usually just do about an hour. Um, we've talked about just all kinds of stuff today. Let's see. The worst thing I've heard someone say when they messed up, they said they were autistic and then laughed and said they weren't. No, that's not funny. No, that's not funny. Oh, the vintage Daisy. Thank you so much. He earned it. He tried to catch a baby duck and Mama swam underwater. Oh, oh man, your brother is going to hate you. But myself having multiple children, I think that's very creative and very good, good sisterly move there. Yeah, Smitten Vintage, I would have too. And that's just, you bring up a good point. You never know who's in your show. You don't know what they're experiencing, what they're going, what life is throwing at them at the moment, what they live with on a daily basis, what ailments they may suffer from, what they've had in their past, what kind of trauma they've had to deal with. You don't know any of this. So what we say could be very triggering. That does not mean we need to walk on eggshells, but just be thoughtful and be kind. I mean, like, because you just never know. Renewed with style. I have a bright son with autism. See, I mean, like, you don't know who's in your shows. There are a few topics I try to stay away from, and it's not because I'm too scared to talk about them. This isn't the forum for it. I usually don't talk politics and religion on my show. It's not the forum for it. I'll talk politics and religion all day long with my husband. I'm not going to do it on Whatnot. Um, and just trying to be kind, trying to watch what you say. Now, we're all going to screw up. We're all going to say something wrong. But if you recognize that, apologizing for it is a huge step. Um, exactly. Superior design. You just don't know. And Southern Charm, too. I never talk politics or religion. Yep. That's as much as you're going to hear me say about those two topics. Those words. I just don't. Um, so, yeah, just, you don't know. And I was going to say something earlier that I forgot. Somebody asked about, do I rerun items? And I said, people come and go in your shows. You guys, you can go and look at your analytics and you can see how many people in total watched your show. And it blows my mind. I can look at the number at the top of the screen and it may be 20, 30, 40, and maybe 10, maybe 2. But then if you go to the analytics and you see 348 people viewed your show at some point during that hour or 2 hours you were on. It blows my mind the number of people that you are actually influencing and touching. So just a word of encouragement, and then I'm going to go find somebody to raid. If you think that maybe only 3 or 4 or 5 people are in your show, that is never the truth. Maybe that's who's in there at that very moment, but throughout the course of your show, there could be hundreds of people seeing those items. So be the best you can be throughout that whole show, because you never know who's watching. One reason I haven't done as many shows as I should have is because I'm going to say stupid stuff. Okay, now Old Maid New Creations. I say stupid stuff all the time. Like literally. And I usually just make fun of myself, especially when I don't know something. I'm like, okay, there you go, Tracy. This is a real me moment. I think I've never heard you say something stupid. But I just make fun of myself. I'm like, yep, that's me. I have a learning disability, but I'm very open about it. My Facebook,
She
it helps
makes
me
fun of me.
see. There you go. I make fun of my husband, yes. Um, Noah Major. Good morning, Miss Ray Ray. I know I finally got to Miss Ray Ray. I finally got to catch your show the other day. I was so excited to see your show, and you were unpacking stuff that you bought from me. That was so cool. I was so excited. Um, let's see. I know Major Lottery Reader that hangs out in almost all of my shows and no one knows. There you go. Somebody who has a ton of money. You just never know when that person. You don't need 100 people in order to make a lot of money. You could, like I was talking about earlier, the one person who bought the mirror. I never expected to sell that expensive mirror in a dollar store show, and it just happened. Um, let's see. I legit brains here, so I just make fun of myself or say words are hard. Words are hard. Yes, I agree. Even if you have brain, if you don't have them, words are just hard. So they're even harder when you have a reason to make them harder. Yes, absolutely. Um, you still have 3 boxes. Yeah. Oh, great. I go blank all the time and just ask for help. Me too. I keep, even for this talk show where I'm just like rambling, I have notes. I like jot things down just to keep like, okay, what was I talking about? And I tell my husband, like, normally we're in the same room, and he's over there doing like this, like trying to get my attention. Literally, this is what my husband looks like. I'm like, dude. What? And I try to tell him after the show, I'm like, if I'm standing up there trying to describe an item and talk somewhat sensibly, and you're over here making faces at me, I lose my train of thought and I look like an idiot. Dude, that's right. Um, but I think sometimes now he does it on purpose. We've actually, in all honesty, I gotta stick up for the guy. He's trying to communicate. He's trying to let me know you missed something in chat. You got a raid. You whatever. He's trying to be helpful, but the way he goes about it, I'm like, I don't know what this means. Like, I don't know. So we actually just kind of changed our setup a bit where I can see like face to face. He was kind of hidden behind a monitor. So now we're face to face, and that's helping a bit more on our communication. Marriage communication, that's hard. Chance for plates from you. Oh, cool. All my new creations. I'm glad you like them. All right, you guys. I'm going to take I'm going to stop yapping here for 1 second. I'm going to see who is on so we can go share some love with somebody. Let's see. I don't know if there's any other talk shows. I'm going to check real quick. I would love to go, Modern Roots and Rust. Have you guys been watching her? She's probably going to be one of my next call outs. She's a newer seller, and I've been watching her a lot lately. I was hoping Nicole was on, but I do not see Nicole this morning. All right, let's go see Modern Roots and Rust. I'm not sure if we rated her last time or not, but like I said, I've been watching her lately. Oh, she does not. Oh, you're talking about me. I don't pay attention to the screen. I tried. Okay, sellers, stick up for me. It is difficult. Selling is not easy. It is hard to be up here. Thank you, Natural State of High. It is hard to sell, to watch the chat, to talk sensibly, and do all that stuff. That's right, Ray. That got red chatted. Nobody saw that one. Yeah, that's right. I have to look at my husband waving like a maniac behind the screen. That's right. That's enough to distract anybody. And it is hard to do all those things at once. So, congratulations to every single seller out here in the show today who does all those things. I keep telling him, I'm like, I'm going to make you sell so you see that it's not like, super simple. And you go too. Oh, that's right. All right, you guys. Okay, Miss Ray, you are cracking me up. When people say boobs, it means they want to say something to just you. Oh, okay. Thank you. I did not know that. Oh, Miss Ray. See, it takes me a second. Takes me a minute, Miss Ray. That person so okay, no, wait a minute. I tell Miss Ray, just tell me yes or no. So that person has you blocked. So maybe I'm going to find something else. Oh, I don't like that. I'm not a fan of blocking. I'm not a fan of blocking. Okay, so that word is the fastest way to hide the chat. Okay. I hope natural state of high. I hope I don't have a booger in my nose. But now I see what you're saying. I did not know that. Y'all, I learned something new today. That is going to be my new code word. Okay. Let's go see who else I can find. I am not a fan of blocking people for the most part. You know what? We're going to go see Travelers Antiques just because I love that. They're another married couple that do shows together, and I love them. Awesome. Yeah, no, I get it, Miss Ray. All right. You know what? We're going to go see Travelers Antiques. If you guys are new to Travelers Antiques, husband and wife team, love them. They're great. They're in the estate category, but they are somebody I buy from frequently. Shh, don't tell my husband. All right. You guys have a good weekend. We will see you all soon.
Honey, what are you doing?
Now thick?